And what is your name?
My name is Tom Bristow.
Uh, where did I meet you?
We met through Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
What is your occupation?
I'm a CPA for a publicly traded company. We're traded on the stock market, and I'm in charge of consolidating the financial statements for those filings. So that's my occupation. That's what I do.
Where do you work?
Go, man.
Where do you work?
HIIQ, Health Insurance Innovations.
How long have you worked there?
A little over a year.
Is a degree required to apply for this position?
Yes, definitely. I have a master's in accounting. I got a UF, Fisher School, and all the people that work for me have to have degrees, or I won't hire them. I just won't even look at their resume.
Degrees in what?
Depends what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for somebody in computers and IT to help me with my systems, I'm looking for that degree. If I'm looking for a CPA, an accountant, which is most of the people that I'm hiring, they have to have their master's degree in accounting and their CPA license. You have to pay extra for that. I mean, to get your license is a big deal. So yeah.
What skills must you have in order to do your job?
Technical. You need to know, to be able to handle technical issues, and in my area of expertise, it deals with financial reporting, and you need to know what to report, how to report it, how do you roll the books, consolidate the books, how do you get the right numbers. You have to file it with the federal, or with the feds, okay, the government, every quarter, okay, and that's because you're publicly traded. And so the SEC was invented in 1933 and 1934 after the great stock market crash. And that created this regulatory environment. And so I am part of that cog in the wheel of now all public companies must file these financial statements. And I am a part of getting that done.
What is your typical day like at work?
Doing everything I just said. I'm being organized and making sure that happens. Am I answering your questions? I'm not sure how elaborate. Should I go into more detail, or?
You're doing pretty.
I work on the computer all the time. I use Excel all the time, every day, and Word. I have to be able to write and read, and I have to make formulas and program as well. So that's a skill set that what, and email obviously is whatever, but that's whatever. A lot of phone calls, coordinating meetings, that kind of thing.
This is an off-topic question.
Okay.
I heard that, and you kind of stated this earlier, but you make, I heard this from your son, Stuart.
Yeah.
He had said that you make programs to do the math.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yes.
But you have to have a slight understanding of the math. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so here's an example. I have to file these SEC reports, right? If you open them up, they're just like big books of just numbers of balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. All the footnotes go along with it, and all the documentation and wording, and all the exhibits and everything. All these numbers come out of your accounting system. Well, we were able to download all those numbers into a database, and then use Excel to extract it in the format we needed. Is that a problem?
Take two. How is math involved in your everyday business?
Math and how I pulled together. Yes. Oh yeah. You were asking me about how my son said that I took all the numbers and I automated everything to populate the documents. So yes, what I made, I turned processes that were like taking a long time to get done, like in generating the numbers, and I was able to use the database in our download and system and pull everything into Excel spreadsheets into the format that needed to be. And I took a 3-week long task and turned it into a matter of days. Okay, and that was these efficiencies that our department gained. It was a big win, because then we turned our financial reporting, basically those documents that I said that I have to file with the SEC every quarter, every 3 months. I had that automated. So my job became very easy. You see, because I use technology to do it for me. Again, but before me, they were like having all these people do all these crazy schedules, and I was able to simplify that, which made the work environment fantastic. So that's one way that's one of the things I do.
What kind of math, though? Like addition, subtraction,
That's
algebra?
interesting. Basic accounting, people will normally think it's usually adding and subtracting, right? Ledgers, that and that. But recent accounting standards have gotten very complex, and you have new accounting standards like revenue recognition, ASC 606. Any accountant you talk to will talk to you knows about that. There's a new lease standard out there and how you account for leases, and that's called ASC 842. And all of those require a large amount of actuarial data, numbers where you have to generate and use sophisticated models to generate the data. So what used to be easy, adding and subtracting, now you are making discounts, present valuing things. You're using higher levels of math to do a lot of the recording. So it has changed a great deal recently with some of the new accounting pronouncements.
What position in your company probably performs the most amount of math, and why?
I'd say accounting and finance, both. And accounting does the actual numbers, okay? It reports actual numbers, the real balances, and that's what I'm on that side of the house. There's a whole other side of the house of people who use numbers, and they're on the finance side, and they're trying to project the future using models and saying this is what our forecast is going to be, what our budget's going to be. So I would say both of those groups use the math the most.
What do you like most about your job?
It's always changing. I'm not doing the same thing every day. Every day is different. When you're managing a group that large and you're managing, all these separate initiatives that are going on, like new software implementations, upgrades, dealing with Sarbanes-Oxley internal audit, maintaining just the general code of ethics, it takes up a lot of time, and you're always shuffling, and there's always something going on, man. We're publicly traded. We're buying stuff, we're selling stuff. We always have a report to put out, like, oh, an event happened. So, again, being publicly traded makes it very dynamic. And this is not the first publicly traded company I've worked for. So, there's a lot. I've seen a lot.
What do you like least about your job?
What I least about my job? I don't like it when I have to get online when I'm on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Just it. Like, dude, I'm on vacation. I don't have to deal with it. But sometimes you get to a certain level that you just have to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if stuff comes up, you're the man, And once you get to my level, I'm a vice president, I'm VP controller at a publicly traded company. I mean, so I'm always on call, dude.
What's your favorite story from your job? Or a previous job?
My favorite story just goes back a ways to Catalina Marketing. It was another publicly traded company that I worked for. And I inherited from my predecessor this tax case where they had already lost at the appellate level and they had already lost at the regular level, then the appellate level. And so now I was tasked with charging and drafting a brief to the Supreme Court of Michigan. And it was all about how you tax coupons. Now, what Catalina Marketing did is they created coupons. If you're ever at the cash register and those little coupons that print out, that's what Catalina Marketing did. Those coupons were printed based on your buying behavior. Okay? So we said it was a service, an advertising service we were providing. The state of Michigan said, no, that coupon, that's tangible property, that needs to be taxed. General sales tax laws apply to tangible property. They usually do not apply to services. So you can see the difference. If you're a tangible property, you get taxed. If it's a service, there is no tax. We were arguing it was a service. They were arguing it was a tangible property, so we would owe them tax. And many years of back taxes. So it was $1 million issue. We wrote our brief to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decided to hear it. We're like, whoa, what? We're really going to the Supreme Court? So I got to go to the Michigan Supreme Court And we had an attorney, and he did all the fighting. But I got to sit there in front of the Supreme Court and argue our case that no, we were providing a service because of the knowledge and the logarithms that went into generating this coupon against. And that's what, Google and everybody's doing that today. But Catalina did it back 20 years ago. I mean, this was new to them. So in the end, we won. The Supreme Court said, and you are providing a service. And so there's a court case. You can go out there and Google it. State of Michigan versus Catalina Marketing. Go get it, man. It's cool. Read it.
Does your job give you any benefits? This is kind of objective, whether it be like financial benefits, medical benefits, or just moral benefits.
Yes. They pay me very well. We have a retirement plan that everybody can participate in, and I strongly recommend you do that when you get your job. Put into the retirement plan, 401k plan. You just put in money. Do you want to put some money in? Yes. Even if it's $50, just start. Always, always, always do that. You thank yourself later. Anyway, that's a benefit. You get health care. Ironically, we do sell health care, but I'm not getting health care from my company. Health care I'm getting from my wife because it's better at her place. And so that's the interesting thing about health care. Benefits differ. Not just you could go to a place that says, oh, well, health care is health care. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Every plan is different. And it depends where you work, what gets covered and not. It's very interesting. So that's why you might have heard about health care in the news. And have you heard about health care and how people are worried about health care?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's why. So.
All right. What was your first job?
My first job, I worked at the mall part-time. I was like 13, and I vacuumed up like a woman's clothes store. And I probably had that job maybe a month or so. It was cool, but, there weren't enough hours. And then right from there, I went and got my second job at Arby's, and I worked there for 2 years. So, that was yeah.
What do you think got you from there to here?
I always knew what I was going for. I always knew what the next step was. I said, I know what the next step is, and I know what I need to get to. Right from, I got to graduate high school, got to get my AA, so I get in University of Florida. Now I got in University of Florida, now I got to graduate, master program with an A. Okay, now I got to get a job with a Big Four firm. Now I got to, move on as a manager somewhere else. Now I got to go for a director. Now I got to be senior director. Now I got to be VP. So you always know what the next step is. So knowing what I was looking towards, I took action to make sure it went that direction.
Okay, this is just a fun laugh and giggles question, but...
Okay. Have I not been fun and giggles so far?
Yeah.
Talking about accounting.
Do you have a nickname, and if so, what's the story behind it?
Oh, my nickname? My nickname is 30-something, and that's from Boy Scouts. That's, we had a club that would nickname people. And so I was the first one, and the other nickname was Flounder. That was the second first one. So, Flounder, Shannon. You know Shannon.
Yeah.
You know who Flounder is. Okay, so anyway, you know the nickname. Your nickname is Chewy.
Chewy.
Exactly. So if you're wondering where he got his nickname, that's where he got his nickname.
Oh boy, now everybody's gonna know the story.
Well, dude, that's how you asked me the question. You bring it up. So everybody had nicknames.
So is there any specific story behind it, or is it just, came up on the spot?
Yeah, came up on the spot. So I'm saying, and nicknames rarely meant anything, just kind of, hey.
All right. Well, thank you.
I have questions for you. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, sure.
Cool. Okay.
This is a twist.
Oh, well, I'm just interested. How do you see yourself using math in the future?
Well, you see, I wish to become a blacksmith.
Okay, so math probably wouldn't go into your equation other than maybe adding up, adding and subtracting revenue.
Well, no, not exactly. Math applies to just about everything within it.
Of course, because you have to get into temperature.
Not only temperature, but the carbon levels of certain metals.
I apologize for my ignorance. Of course you would. No, that's huge. So you see math from a completely different perspective. I'm looking at adding these numbers up and putting these like books together of financial data, and you're talking about creating engineering. you know, and how it's used. So math is applied everywhere, you know, so it's crazy. Math is cool. That's all I got.
Well, I would like to thank you, Mr. Bristow, for doing this interview.
Thank you, Chewy. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. My pleasure.